According to the PlayStation 2 files, there was originally going to be busker NPCs that you could likely see on the street playing music. This would have added so much more atmosphere and character to the city, and I can't really imagine why this was removed from the game. Anyway, this awesome YouTube video shows what it would have looked like if the NPCs were then added back to the game. And this is using the actual models found in the files on the PlayStation 2 version. According to game previews from gaming magazines, the loading screens would have had advertisements for in-game brands on them. You can see this is an advertisement for dog food. GTA 3 was originally going to be completely two-dimensional. Some deny this fact, but in a GTA series video, they revealed they got their hands on an exclusive developer's handbook. Essentially, this is a blueprint to the entire game. In this document, there was a devlog section where they mentioned that the game had shifted from a two-dimensional bird's eye view now to 3D, proving that at one point we almost got an entirely two-dimensional top-down version of this game only, reminiscent of GTA 1 and GTA 2. In the beta version of GTA 3, there was originally going to be blue cop cars instead of black. As per this German TV advertisement, we can see some of these blue police cars in the background of the gameplay. Now, it's not necessarily confirmed why they changed this, but blue is the colour of New York City police cars, where GTA 3's Liberty City is based on. Thus, I guess it sort of distanced the game from real life a little bit more. This German TV advert also shows that at some point Claude had the ability to blow up planes taxiing the airport runway, and you can see why Rockstar Games had to remove this feature. That being said though, you can actually still blow up Dodo aircraft flying around the map, which I had no idea this was a thing in GTA 3. I knew it was a thing in Vice City. If you blow up the Dodo, you get a 4-star wanted level. The original colour palette for the game was highly saturated and heavily contrasted. The game looked more like a cartoon than it did a gloomy, realistic depiction of New York, which for 2001 is what GTA 3 looked like. Take a look at this screenshot here. I find this really interesting. Down in the bottom left, you can see that the health bar was indicated as a bar, shall we say, right beside the minimap. You can see here in real time how the art direction really shifted as the game progressed from this really over-the-top cartoonish looking game to what we know it now as somewhat of a realistic, for the time, really gloomy and dark game. The original logo seen in the background here behind Dan Houser, you can see actually had red and orange theming to it. And this logo was actually discovered in the Vice City game files. However, the original logo of the game was going to actually look like this. This is what the alpha version of the logo looked like. A completely unused introduction cutscene was removed from the game, found on YouTube by a channel called Calm Gaming Studios. Now, in the final version of the game, we see Claude being shipped off to prison in the back of a van with some really cool ominous music playing and some cinematic shots of the Callahan Bridge. However, this is an example of what the actual intro would have looked like if Rockstar Games had have been able to execute their master plan or their vision that they had. So I'm only playing you a small snippet there because you probably get the point. It carries on playing with this music, but this version of the GTA 3 intro was likely altered due to PS2 hardware and data limitations, because as revealed by the design document from GTA series videos, the original plan was actually to showcase a montage of the city, previewing gameplay and highlighting players' freedoms. So according to the document, the camera would have panned across the city, displaying in a text box in the top left-hand corner about certain gameplay facts and features. So that's really interesting, and you can see how there's a lot of pop-in this intro, which is probably why Rockstar Games were never able to actually add this to the final game. A pedestrian can be found in the game files called Tom Novi. Now, Tom is a real-life German musician, and his soundtrack Back to the Streets was used in a very early GTA 3 trailer, but nothing else is left to give us a clue as to what he would have done in the game. A GTA 3 beta preview was featured in the Power Station Gaming magazine issue number 69. Yep, seriously, 69. Now, inside of this preview was a beta screenshot showing a giant, horrific, ugly face sculpture or statue that could be found somewhere on the map. But in the final game, no such prop or statue exists. Now, this looks truly horrifying, and there's actually something similar to this in New York in real life, which I believe is supposed to be the face of the Statue of Liberty. So I guess this was Rockstar's version of copying this. Interesting. I guess they removed it because it was seriously ugly? I don't know. Now, I'm going to show you guys an Easter egg, which can only be found on the very first European version of the game on PlayStation 2, which is quite rare. Now, this version was rushed and apparently was sent by mistake to the mastering factories. And it featured a ton of cut features that were left in by mistake because these were files that predated the September attacks, which Rockstar then had to censor and change a ton of things in the game. Now, this Easter egg involves this ped, which is called Male01. On occasion, when bumped into, this pedestrian can be heard saying he designed the PlayStation 2.
I designed the PS2.
Now, in all other games or game versions, this voice line was completely cut. You can see a street criminal pickpocket NPC who will then snag cash from a nearby pedestrian's pocket. And amazingly, if you point a gun at this pickpocket, using the console controls, he will put his hands up, surrender, and drop the cash on the floor. These guys come in two variants and can be seen almost anywhere on the map. So if you've seen NPCs chasing each other down and fighting, this is probably a victim of thievery. GTA 3 was originally planned to release on Sega Dreamcast alongside the PlayStation 2 version, but due to the limited power of the console at the time, the idea of this was then totally scrapped. But amazingly, just this year, some extremely talented people have actually managed to get a version of GTA 3 running on the Dreamcast hardware, and it is seriously impressive. So yeah, well done to those guys, and to even get that working is an insane achievement. The PC version of the game was originally planned to have a multiplayer mode with several PvP maps added to the game. One of these maps would be a sewer system underneath the city, which was attached to the side of the Bank of Liberty. You could see these walls blown up with dynamite, and if you go through there, you can enter the gold room. There's also a generator room and these really eerie staircases and hallways. But another location that would have been a deathmatch map was the Sky High building site. This would have been a really cool map, and you can just imagine fighting each other on these dangerously high platforms overlooking Liberty City. So these maps were actually found later on after the game's release on mobile version, because for some reason they accidentally left these files in that version of the game. So if it wasn't for this mistake, we never would have known that these would have existed. Now, there's a mission in GTA 3 called Two-Faced Tanner, and this is an obvious reference to John Tanner, who's the protagonist of the Driver video game series. Now, he has a very brief appearance as a secondary character. This is the beginning of a very comedic feud between Rockstar and the devs of Driver. In Driver 3, players can find an Easter egg of a character named Timmy Versamelli, who sports a Hawaiian shirt and armbands, which was poking fun at Tommy Vercetti's inability to swim. Well, in GTA 3, I guess this started the whole feud. Not only do you have to kill Dick Tanner, which is a hilarious name, but also they decided to give his character the animations of a woman, basically saying that John Tanner from the Driver series is a girl, basically. There is a billboard of which says "See you in Miami," showing a depiction of a plane at Miami Airport. And at the time, of course, when GTA 3 came out, this was considered just background filler. But as you know, the follow-up game from GTA 3 was GTA Vice City, which was set in Miami. As we know, Vice City was actually supposed to be a DLC pack for GTA 3. It's only when Rockstar realised that it had a huge ambition of its own and could actually go on to be a great game that they decided to make it a standalone product. Inside of the Twat internet cafe on the second island, you can see a monitor on the PC which just so happens to be playing GTA 1, and GTA 2, the original bird's eye view versions of the game that came before GTA 3. Now, every GTA game has a wide range of incredible collector items and memorabilia that are sent to devs, fan sites, or part of competitions, and GTA 3 was no exception to that. Firstly, we have the GTA 3 branded wooden baseball bat, only gifted to select press sites and journalists and Rockstar New York employees in the early 2000s. But let's one up from that. How about these real brass knuckles, gifted to Rockstar New York devs only? So since knuckle dusters are actually illegal in New York, Rockstar used a loophole to bypass this as a fancy bottle opener, which allowed them to bypass the law and actually give this as a real thing to their employees who worked on the game. Now, there's a variety of other cool collector items that exist, like playing cards, there's Kubrick sets, a variety of really rare press release kits and stuff like that. But to be honest with you guys, I wish I could get myself a pair of these GTA 3 branded knuckle dusters. I don't know how many of these existed, but man, if you have any rare GTA memorabilia and you're looking to part ways with it, then let me know, because I definitely would be happy to organize something. For many years, the name for Claude was actually a mystery, with many speculating it to be a variety of different names. It wasn't actually until GTA San Andreas where Catalina finally confirmed that his name was in fact Claude. The name Claude doesn't appear in GTA 3, and other characters only call him by nicknames. The menu dialogue only refers to him as player. Claude can actually also be found in the game files, and much later, Rockstar confirmed in a Q&A for the 10-year anniversary of the game that his name was definitely Claude. Did you know that you can actually get into the car crusher with your car by doing a really cool glitch? And it has some seriously strange consequences. So you need to start a new game and progress to the second mission where you pick up Misty. You need to make sure that Misty gets in the front passenger side door, because if she gets in the rear, this won't work. Then all you have to do is drive on down to the car crusher and park like so the passenger side door is blocked. Get out of the vehicle. Once she knocks you out, spam the enter button and this is going to happen. The crusher will then drop the car on the floor and everything's going to seem relatively normal. However, if you drive for just a few minutes, driving left and right constantly, you'll notice that your car begins to grow and grow and grow. Your vehicle also loses all collision for other vehicles on the road, and occasionally you can literally fall straight through the map. Oh yeah, and if you've ever wondered what happens if you try and jump into this thing, well, yeah, Claude dies straight away. On occasion, you can find this pedestrian with a pair of headphones on. Amazingly, Rockstar even thought to add the sound of loud music playing when you're walking in close proximity to him. The junkyard scrap car models and the bus have some pretty comedic names. There's actually many examples of Rockstar Games including swear words in the game's coding, and this is a perfect example of that. I mean, the school bus is literally called _school bus. Did you know that weather in GTA 3 is actually predetermined? The order of the weather is sunny, cloudy, rainy, cloudy, sunny, cloudy, foggy, cloudy, sunny, cloudy, sunny, cloudy, rainy, cloudy, sunny, foggy, sunny, rainy, cloudy. After that, it goes back to the beginning and starts the cycle all over again. Now, the replay system on PC wasn't thought through as thoroughly as you'd expect. It turns out that if the player stands over a pickup like a bribery star or a weapon, then saves a replay on PC, you can then preview the replay and pick up the object. Now, this can be used in a variety of ways, and can be used to manipulate the game almost as if you have a cheat code activated at any given time. As you can see from the footage here, I obtain a wanted level, and I'm able to almost instantly get rid of it by using the replays. It's not until this point in the video I've just realised for some goddamn reason Microsoft decided to activate some horrific microphone the entire time I've been reading most of this video. I can't be bothered to re-record it, so I'm sorry if the audio sounded like dog shit for the majority of the video. On the second island in Times Square, you can see an in-game advertisement for GTA 3, which is a pretty cool universe-breaking Easter egg. The sign reads GTA 3 out now, rockstargames.com. You can complete the taxi missions from any vehicle you want. Simply get into the taxi, press and hold the button to activate the side mission, get out of the vehicle but still hold the button. Find any vehicle you want, and now you can do taxi missions from whatever vehicle you want. And yes, it's totally possible in a tank. The video is not over yet, but I just want to say thank you to everyone who's subscribed lately. With 90% of people who watch my videos not being subscribers, it's been amazing seeing how you guys have enjoyed these useless fact videos. So if you're not already and you're enjoying this video, click subscribe down below. It's rumored that Rockstar Games toyed around with the idea of adding a first-person mode to GTA 3 as well. It's been found in the game files, and it was even confirmed by Obi Vermej, who worked on the game, who now answers regular questions over on Twitter about his time at Rockstar Games working on these fantastic games. Now, he confirmed that first person was in fact going to be a thing, and all of these animations that we could likely have seen during this first person mode have since been restored. So take a look at what they might have looked like. As you can also see, the school bus was going to be an available vehicle, and we even have a 3D model of what the beta version would have looked like. You may have heard rumours about a cut character named Darkle who would have given the player missions such as blow up a school bus and so on and so forth. However, this was since confirmed by Rockstar Games not to be true. However, they never denied that Darkle existed. In fact, they admitted that Darkle was indeed a character that would have given the player some pretty random and strange missions, and the reason he was cut was because once they decided that he didn't fit the greater scope of the game and didn't really match the tone of the game in comparison to all the other characters, they decided to just remove him completely, which was probably a smart decision. The world record any percent speedrun for GTA 3 is just 59 minutes and 24 seconds. Set by German speedrunner Shivu. Hopefully I'm pronouncing it right. Interestingly though, the GTA Vice City any percent speedrun beats the game in under 10 minutes. So what's going on here? Why does an older title like GTA 3 not have a quicker time than GTA Vice City, despite it being an older game and not having so many features? It's just a linear story, right? Well, that's actually part of the problem. GTA Vice City has several non-linear portions, and there's a lot of emphasis on doing things your way. So speedrunners take this to an extreme with a glitch called script stack underflow. I won't get into the specifics of this very complicated glitch, but basically it allows speedrunners to manipulate the game's memory in a number of ways, and one of these ways is by starting missions way before the developers intended. In this case, the GTA Vice City speedrun does a very specific setup that starts the final mission, Keep Your Friends Close, right at the start of the game. This glitch is possible in GTA 3, but sadly you cannot unlock the final mission in the same way. And setups are mainly restricted to the console versions rather than the PC version that most speedrunners use. Even if we ignore script stack underflow and look at GTA Vice City speedrun without this glitch, the run is still faster than GTA 3 because you can skip the entire asset part of the game with other glitches. GTA 3 is stuck in a more linear loop. You can skip missions, but most of the time the setups to do this take much longer than just doing the missions normally. Once speedrunners are out of Portland in GTA 3, the heavy glitches pretty much stop dead in their tracks. If you'd like to learn more about how GTA 3 was beaten in under 1 hour and what led to this incredible achievement, I'll link this fantastic video by English Ben in the description, or you can click the video on screen now. Ben was kind enough to help me verify the information for this segment of the video today. He pointed out how in my Vice City video I got mixed up with some pretty key details. So I suggest you go and check out his video, it's really interesting, and that's the end of today's video folks, so yeah. Go show Ben some love, and I'll see you guys in another video. Adios.